The conversation around this roster has taken a subtle but important turn in recent weeks. What initially appeared to be a routine injury recovery has grown into a broader discussion about roster balance, game day availability, and how coaches manage the final few spots on the active list. Veteran fans understand how these decisions become more complicated late in the season, especially when injuries elsewhere alter special teams assignments and positional depth. The challenge now is not simply health, but fit. This situation illustrates how quickly expectations can shift once a team settles into weekly rhythms that are difficult to disrupt without unintended consequences. Tutu Atwell'S status is at the center of this discussion because his return from a hamstring injury has taken longer than anticipated. Though his practice window has opened, the Rams have not yet committed to activating him, even during weeks when signs pointed toward a possible return. Atwell remains a unique piece in the offensive structure, a vertical threat with speed that stresses coverage rules. His absence has forced adjustments to spacing and motion packages, and the current depth chart has settled into roles that are difficult to reshuffle without affecting snap counts elsewhere. The slower-than-expected timeline underscores how hamstring injuries can linger. Atwell is 25 and in the stage of his career where availability becomes as important as raw speed. Before the injury, he provided valuable explosive play potential, including an 88-yard touchdown in late September that showcased his acceleration. His smaller frame requires precise workload management, and his hamstring history raises reasonable concerns about re-injury risk. From a schematic perspective, his presence influences defensive leverage even on plays where he is not targeted. Yet the Rams must also weigh how many situational players they can carry on the 48-man game day roster, particularly when special teams contributions are limited. The special teams component is critical to this decision. Atwell does not hold a major role in kick or punt coverage, which complicates his path to activation while the team manages injuries at linebacker, tight end, and running back. Those positions traditionally supply core special teams snaps. When availability tightens, coaches often prioritize versatility over specialized skill set. Sean McVay noted that the special team staff has established rhythms during Atwell's absence, and disrupting those units can create ripple effects across protection and return groups. Veteran listeners know these details matter, particularly in games decided by field position. Atwell's financial impact is modest, as he remains on a rookie-scale contract, but roster mechanics go beyond salary. The Rams must manage defensive line rotation, outside linebacker depth, and secondary flexibility each week. Elevating a receiver who does not cover kicks can force the staff to thin out a critical defensive unit. In a league where injuries accumulate late in the year, coaches often opt for players who fill multiple roles even if their ceiling is lower. Atwell's activation, therefore, becomes contingent not only on offensive fit, but on whether the roster can absorb his specialized usage. McVay's comments reflect his broader approach to player deployment, balance, structure, and alignment with the weekly game plan. His explanation made clear that the delay is not performance-related. Instead, it is a recognition of the interconnected nature of the 48-man list. A hamstring injury removed Atwell long enough for others to solidify roles, and reintroducing him requires adjustments across several position groups. The Rams staff must determine whether those changes strengthen or destabilize units that have found steady footing in recent weeks. That calculation is ongoing as they evaluate opponents and matchups. The uncertainty now shifts to sustainability. Can the Rams bring Atwell back without compromising the cohesion they have established, or does his return require structural adjustments that outweigh the benefit? Veteran fans understand that late-season decisions are less about headline talent and more about operational reliability. Atwell can help the passing game, but only if his role integrates cleanly with special teams' needs and positional depth. McVay is expected to provide further updates midweek, yet the underlying question remains. When a roster stabilizes in a player's absence, re-entry becomes a strategic choice rather than a simple medical clearance. For now, the Rams continue weighing that balance carefully,